I'm back with another reaction video, and this time it's going to be different. A lot different. It's going to be a PewDiePie reaction video. It's the same. It's basically the same as the last time. It's a different video, though, so there's that. So let's check out what's new with PewDiePie. And by the way, for those who are curious, the reason I'm doing is because people told me that it's a Linux-related video, and I'd want to check it out. So that's why we're checking it out. And if you like reaction videos, great. Stick around. I'll do some more. If you don't, then that's okay. Stick around anyway, and I'll do other videos too.
How's it going, bros?
My name is PewDiePie.
Check it out. New camera. What do you guys think? Pristine. This is actually, if you can believe it. This was filmed with my camera. I made this camera. Alright, honestly, which one is better? Now my camera quality actually looks good if I compare it to this.
I mean, you could just, change the angle so it's not blown out by all the light from the sun. There's that option. So it's probably not a bad camera in the first place. It's just there's so much being like overpowered by the sun. But yeah, I mean, it's not a bad camera considering you've made it and you probably did like some kind of like Raspberry Pi Arduino type of thing.
Anyway, I want to tell you guys how this all came to be.
You may be wondering why I'm in my car. You see, it all started with me selling my old car, my Tesla, and I had dog mode on it, which I find really helpful.
What the dog doing?
Dog mode is not as fun as it sounds, it's literally just a temperature control sensor. And my new car, I don't mean to flex, but it's a minivan. Mitsubishi Delica. And no, it does not have dog mode.
That's a shame.
I actually found it really helpful, like if I need to just pop in a shop really quick, or if me and Mars are traveling with the dogs, we maybe want to stop for a bite. So I thought, screw it, I'll do something better. I'll add a camera in here, because the Tesla didn't have that. I can check the temperature and...
I mean, it didn't have a camera that was helpful to you. There is a camera in the cabin of a Tesla, and I'm pretty sure all of them, even from like the Model 3 up, because I noticed it one time, and I was sitting in a Tesla, not mine. I was sitting in a Tesla, and it's got a camera right above the rearview mirror, and so right there, if you ever sit in one, look to see if it's there because it might be, and it's required for the full self-driving mode. Like you have to have it there, otherwise they won't let you use the service. But it's not required for autopilot, which is just information.
The humidity, and that way at least I know my dogs aren't getting scorched to death while I'm away for a minute. So I picked up a camera online with the humidity and...
But you would imagine what is the camera for other than the full self-driving? Like, why is there a camera that is watching you at all times in the car? Just doesn't sit right with me. Not a fan of that kind of thing. I mean, if I controlled the camera, that's fine. But if it's like built into the car, I'm okay with cameras outside of the car. That's fine because dash cams and all that stuff, it's great. But inside is just very sketch to me. And a lot of cars these days come with that. Anyway, that's a side tangent, but let's go back.
Temperature sensor, and I was setting it up here, and I realized all of a sudden sweat was just pouring from my face. My forehead was pulsing. I was getting angry. Why does the camera charge me monthly to use its features? My neighbor walked past. Why does a humidity sensor want my private information? That's when I had the brilliant...
That's the state of technology these days. I know he's talking about he's already expanded on that, but like there was a time where I bought these lights to go in my studio. They're just, some colorful lights in the background and that sort of stuff. And I bought them thinking like, okay, cool. I can just, control it from my phone and be able to, choose the colors that way. That's, remotely be able to control it. That's cool. And then I found out that in order to use that light, I had to install an app that required my GPS location. For a light, you need my GPS to control the color and the intensity of a light. No, thank you. I took it back immediately and got something completely different that did not require an app whatsoever. And I will never get one of those because that is insanity. Okay.
an idea right then and then. I was gonna build my own camera.
This Dumbo thought that was a good idea. To make all of this happen,
I mean, it sounds like a fun idea. Difficult, but fun.
I decided to use a Raspberry Pi. You probably heard of these already. It's a single board computer.
I have heard of those, and they are great. I have one myself, although that's a compute module, not the regular Raspberry Pi. Do I have one of those available? This is a Raspberry Pi 5. This is the current beefy kind. I'm pretty sure this is the 16 gig. I don't remember if I got the 8 or the 16, but either way, this is awesome. And you can do a lot of stuff with this thing. I also have this Raspberry Pi, which it's in the case still, but you can tell it has a composite adapter. So this is a very old one. I'm pretty sure this is the second edition, like the second ever edition, the Raspberry Pi B, Model B. It might be the one after that. I don't remember. I think it was the Model B. It's definitely not the A, but I'm not sure if it's like, I think there was like a B plus or something like that. I don't remember if it was a B or a B plus. Anyway, so yeah, I'm pretty familiar with Raspberry Pis. But that's a compute module, so it's much smaller and can do a lot less. It's not as powerful, but you can put it into tiny little boxes to make a camera of sorts.
And the best part, it runs Linux. Yes. And that's when I discovered
Nice.
glorious SSH. SSH, which stands for Secure Shell Protocol.
I mean, technically a secure shell, but whatever.
SSH is basically a way to connect to your computer remotely. The fact that you can communicate with a computer just with your keyboard, I feel like I'm a wizard.
I mean, it's kind of funny he said it that way, but yes, you communicating with your secondary computer with just a keyboard is pretty cool. But also, you can do a lot of stuff and like use SSH to automate stuff and be able to remote in and then modify things just through the command line and stuff like that. It's very cool to be able to do. It's not something that everybody would want to do, but it's very cool. And it gives you a lot of power, especially to be able to like automate different devices to do different things. So if you have like multiple Raspberry Pis, you could create a cluster of them and do all sorts of stuff. It's very cool. You can go into the deep end with this sort of stuff. Not everybody wants to do that, but for those who do, it's very fun.
I'm typing spells with commands. I love it. I type. There are other things you can use.
So here's something that's slightly off topic, but kind of funny, I think. Based on watching this video and the other videos, I've learned that I don't know a lot of the memes that are all around because he apparently did multiple meme jokes and I did not get them. And I don't know what that was. So maybe they're like video game related stuff. Maybe I don't play enough video games. Maybe I should make a YouTube channel for video games because there's not enough of those already, right? All right.
But a Pi, but since it's such a tiny computer, it's got GPIO pins, which means you can add a bunch of different hardware to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a slot for a camera to go to. Perfect. To set this up is super simple. You just have an SD card, you put it in your computer, you use Raspberry Pi software to flash it, and you're done. Now, for some reason, and this is not Linux fault, it's not the fault that I'm on Linux, the program didn't work. I think I needed root access and it just wouldn't give it to me. It's not Linux fault, actually. It's actually good that I'm on Linux because I can solve this problem easily. I just have to do it manually. LSB.
I mean, why do you need to do that? Because the whole point, you shouldn't have to. I think there's some kind of issue there because the whole point of that tool is to not require that, but maybe it should be able to easily do it. So I'm kind of curious.
Okay, mount that drive and then just flash it on my own. What can go wrong? Flashing
A little bit of hesitation right there. Yeah.
a drive on Linux is a bit like a nuclear launch without the glass cover. One wrong move and you can kiss your disk bye-bye. Don't ask me how I know. So yeah, fine.
But that's actually kind of funny because a lot of people don't know the way to flash usually is to using this tool called DD, just the letters DD. Now, if you're wondering what those letters mean, nothing, actually. The reason it's called DD is because they wanted to call the tool CC, but there already was a CC So they just went a letter down and called it DD. That's the actual origin of why it's called that. I didn't know that for a very long time, and I looked it up many years ago, but I looked this up just because I was curious what it meant. And the fact that that's the reason is like, oh, okay. But I like the nickname version better because the nickname of DD is Disk Destroyer. And that's very accurate. It can be accurate. I mean, if you do it on the wrong drive, you can destroy the entirety of the drive. So be very careful when you use DD. Do not copy and paste because every single one of those will be wrong because the destination drive, which will be the last part of it, will not be the one that you actually want to use because you need to know which mount on your system it actually is. So be careful with DD. Don't use it if you don't have to, because most of the time you don't have to. In this case, you might have to. I don't know. But if you don't have to, just use something else. There's other ways to flash drives and things like that. So, yeah, do it if you want to, if you need to. But keep in mind, you type it out yourself. Check what the stuff is yourself manually before you mess with it, because DD can be a disk destroyer.
Finally, I'm in, I'm connected, I'm ready to set this thing up. You may notice it's called Car 17. Don't ask me why it's called Car 17. At this point, I didn't want to complicate things.
Okay, I won't.
All right, so I thought, okay, a Raspberry Pi.
I imagine that's another meme that I don't get.
And an official Raspberry Pi camera. I plug them in. It should just work. And it does. There's a program called LibCamera. It works great for photos. It works great for recording video. And video streaming, however, should work. It should work. It should work. Now, I don't know how to code. I'm a noob. And I realize I'm way in over my head here, okay? So I used a program called Raspicam. And Raspicam was beautiful, man. It worked perfectly. We had such a good thing going. Me and Raspicam... Can you imagine one day waking up and your best friend is just gone? One reboot and Raspicam was just poof. I didn't even get to say goodbye.
Yes, because it was deprecated a few years ago or something. I forgot. I covered it on the show on This Week in Linux. I'm pretty sure. Maybe it was Destination Linux. We talked about how it just kind of was gone. But I think there's a fork or something like that. Or you could just use LibCamera. I'm not sure because I haven't done this in a long time. It's been years since I played with Raspicam. But I did hear about that a few years ago. I don't remember how long ago.
I don't know what happened. I don't want to use LibCam. LibCam! I looked everywhere.
So LibCamera is actually a replacement for a lot of stuff. It's an improvement, underlying layer to improve a lot of different stuff related to the camera. So it's not just camera. It also does other stuff on top of it, but you can use it. It's a very fundamental library, and it's replacing some older libraries. And maybe Raspicam just didn't upgrade to it, or maybe there's something else that relates to it. I don't know, but hopefully he fixed. Well, I mean, he fixed it already, obviously, because he's making the video
online, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, use Raspicam. It works great. Look," and I'm like, "Yeah, it just doesn't." I look at all these tutorials, and man, I feel like I'm being gaslit until finally reading the forums. I find out that Raspicam has been deprecated since 2021. RIP.
Oh yeah, there you go.
A lot of trial and error, and I finally got it working. This felt like a huge win. Sheer stubbornness made this happen. But I finally had my streaming live feed. That's what I needed. Huge win. I then added...
But how? That's the same thing he did on the last video. He would talk about something like the Firefox loading instantly, showing it off, and then not showing how he did it. And a lot of people were curious. So this is another example of saying he fixed something and then not saying how he fixed it. Maybe there's like, I'll go back a little bit.
Find out that Raspicam has been deprecated since 2021. RIP.
No, that's not, that does not explain. So yeah, PewDiePie, in the future, when you talk about finding out a solution to your problem, it's best to share what the solution is, because that's very helpful. It's good. I'm glad that you got it fixed, but I would like to know how you got it fixed. as well as I'm pretty sure a lot of other people would too. So, yeah, in the future, feel free to share information like that. For those who are curious about the Firefox thing from the last video, I think it was because he just had it preload. So it's loading, it's like it's a startup application. So it's just always loaded. And then when he clicks the button, it just loads instantly. So that's what I feel like he did. But there's a couple of ways to do that. So
the DHT sensor, which is measures temperature and humidity. I added a battery. I 3D printed a case. Bada bing, bada boom, and poof. My dog spy cam was complete. Look at this thing. It's adorable. I love it. I showed it in my last video, and like no one cared. I was like, look, I made this camera. Hint, hint. Do you want me to talk more about it? Anyway.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. But also, I'm pretty sure you said you were going to talk about it. So why would we ask you to talk about it in the previous video? I'm going to go check because I think
I've been doing so much more. I built this camera as well. Like I mentioned earlier, you can communicate with Linux even without a graphical user interface, GUI. That made me so excited because I'm like, wait, that means I can use other computers at my disposal. For some reason, to me, that's just like really cool. And I wanted to try what I could do with it. I want to show this in another video maybe because I feel like it's too much yapping. But my point is...
Yeah, there you go. You said that you were going to show it in another video or you wanted to show it in another video. So why would we ask about you showing it if you're going to show it? Like you said you're going to do it. So that's why I didn't say anything about it in the video. I'd be like, oh, that's cool. But he said he's already going to do it. So there you go.
Anyway, I think it's cool. Me and Marcia went on a road trip. I got to test out the camera. When me and Marcia stopped to have a bite, we could check that the dogs were sound and safe and comfortable. And no stress involved. I love it. I want to do so much more with this because I know it's possible, right? I thought it'd be so good if I can have like notifications. So if it hit certain temperatures and humidity, maybe high or too low, it would notify me on my phone somehow. I don't know. Okay, fine. I don't know how to do this and the quality sucks and I get it. Like it's not as good as an actual camera, but it's my camera, okay? And I can do whatever I want.
Yes, exactly. And that's very cool. And also that notification thing is absolutely true. There was a long time ago, this probably doesn't exist anymore. I don't know. But there was a Twitter account when it was still Twitter. And this was early days of Twitter where someone set up an Arduino, and I'm pretty sure it was an Arduino, where they connected it to their washing machine. So every single time it was done with a load, it would post it on Twitter. And that's all the account ever did. And it probably doesn't exist anymore, but it's pretty awesome. You can do a lot of stuff when you start getting into the single board computers and, you know, just playing around with things. You can do a lot of things that might not be necessary, but it's cool that you can.
It is such a difference from buying this camera that you have to pay to use. It's crazy. It's not the best camera, but it's my camera. Now, project number 2. That's right. While I was tinkering and sminkering, I got a little bored at a certain point with this. So I had started on another project because I went through such hell to get the first one going. I was like, well, the second one is going to be easier. I already know all this stuff now. It's going to be a breeze. I wanted to build a nightstand clock. I have an Alexa right now. It's fine, but it really annoys me because it always asks me to update it. It logs me out every time it reboots. Why do I have to log in to begin with? And I don't know how I feel about having Jeff Bezos staring at me while I'm sleeping, okay? So with Project 2, I wanted to
That's fair. I don't like those kinds of devices. Like Internet of Things is great, but the fact that they require an account or require connectivity to the internet to function, it's like there should be a base level functionality of all these things. But Internet of Things is a very cool thing to play with. There's a lot of cool stuff you can find in there, but also a lot of these things are requiring the connections now, and that's just irritating. So making your own is much better.
Placed that Alexa and built my own sort of nightstand device. And this time it was gonna be easy, okay? I already went through all the issues with the camera. Nothing can go wrong. And to be fair, it went easy in the beginning. I actually got the speaker for this working on the first try. Nice. I couldn't believe it.
Holy. Front, left, front. It worked on the first try. That has never happened. What?
It worked so great until it didn't, of course.
All right, here we go. Lasagna.
That's technology for you.
Why does everyone I love leave me? A little side note here. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but anytime tech reviewers on YouTube, when they review a tiny speaker, they all do this, and I don't understand why. They go, oh, it doesn't sound bad at all for its size. If it's tiny, it's bad by default, okay? Listen, my brethren, my brother, tiny isn't good. We have to accept this. Physics is physics, brother. Come here, it's okay. Anyway,
I mean, certain things can be like, micro transistors. Those are pretty small. So it depends on what we're talking about. But speaker wise, yeah, I suppose so. Although there are some really good quality earbuds these days. So maybe that's not necessarily accurate.
my speaker, however, super bad. I really wish I got a better speaker. It's literally made out of paper.
Guilty. You're trying to dethrone me for spot on number 1, but you in the year you lose. So best thing you have.
But I know a secret trick that all these tech reviewers don't know about. If you cut the ground wire while it's playing, it sounds amazing. Felix Lawyer here. Do not cut the ground wire. Man, my speaker did all kinds of weird stuff. It made it funny at least. I wanted to set up Spotify on this so I can stream music on it, even though the speaker is terrible. And it was super easy. You just install the package, bada bing, bada boom. With this project, most of the time I had to spend on was actually 3D printing because I wanted to try and make this look nice at least. I was inspired by old handheld radios. I wanted to have like this handheld feel to it, even though it's not a handheld device. But most of the time I spent 3D printing, and here's me breaking my filament sensor while trying to clear some clogged filament.
That's not good. Come on. Come on. You bugger.
I didn't know it at the time. Anytime I tried to print, the filament kept going, no, you can't print. There's something stuck in there. And I go, oh, is it? Because I just cleaned it. I know for a fact there's nothing stuck in there. I kept getting gaslit by my 3D print there. I know there's nothing in there. I actually try to look up if I can SSH into my printer. And you can, if you hack it. I was this close to doing it because I was like, well, I just needed to shut up and print. Like, it's not an issue. And if I can just like find the function to remove the filament sensor. But then I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just buy a filament sensor and replace it. Maybe I don't have to fight every battle. I found this screen, it's really cheap and I don't know, but I like it and it looks really nice. I just wanted to test out the screen and I found this script that has blinking eyes, and Mike said it was really cute, so obviously I had to keep it. It made it kind of like a BMO vibe, I feel like. So I kind of went with that. So things were looking pretty good. But then, cable madness. I had so many different hardware ran into this thing at this point.
You know what's funny is that in the comments of my last reaction video, there were people who were saying that PewDiePie clearly didn't do it himself. He hired people to build the stuff and then all this other nonsense. And this video, the other video was enough. He showed that he's gone through it himself. Like, he knew the stuff. It was all reactionary. He definitely has gone through it. But in this case, he's building a bunch of stuff to put in the effort of having someone else. Like, the conspiracy theory stuff is so ridiculous because it's not even worth the effort to have someone else do it, send it to you, and you go through the process of trying to look like you know what you're doing, you're talking about, than to just do it yourself and go through the process. Like, it actually would be less effort than to do it yourself. And anyway, so I'm watching this video and going like, yeah, he's doing a lot more stuff here than even was close to the last one. So like, he's messing with like the wires and, you know, replacing the systems and SSHing in and all that sort of stuff. So just for the naysayers out there, he's probably doing it himself. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you got to that conclusion the last time, but definitely this time. But anyway, I was just watching him going through these things and remembering that all those comments that happened, like, Yeah, I think he did it. I think he did it himself. It's a lot easier to do that and a lot less effort and time to do that than it would be the other way.
And cables kept falling off everywhere. I kept resoldering them so they would stick, but it just kept happening. And I kept going, this is not human. This whole video is just me complaining about troubleshooting. Someone needs to know my pain. I kept going, this is not human. It's not human.
I need to save space. I have to solder them all. This is not human.
But then, that's when I found...
This is not human? Is this another meme that I don't get?
Glorious SHA. I'm just kidding. I found glorious hot glue. That's right. Instant stability. And I'm talking about my mental health. It worked like a charm. There's small stuff like that yeah, makes a big difference. But at this point, I was so...
Apple knows a lot about glue when it comes to building devices. So you're you're following in some interesting footsteps.
So done. And I showed it to
But seriously, I mean, sure, why not?
Marcia, and she rightfully reminded me, where's the microphone? You wanted to use, okay, turn lights on thing, right? The voice command. And I'm like, please, there's so many cables. I don't want more. And here's the thing, right? With GPIOs, it's not like it's plug and play. You still have to activate it and find the right package for it. And microphone especially, I2C is really difficult. At least I found that it was. And I realized they have USB ports. It's okay to use the USB ports. I don't have to fight every battle, man. That meant it was pretty much plug and play with the microphone. And I'm actually really glad Marce pushed me to do this because I found this open source software called Vosk. Super cool. It runs voice transcription locally, so it's completely offline.
Chiquita banana. Oh, Chiquita banana. Oh. Hey, Björn, can you come here? Try. Can you say airplane? Really? That's so good.
Another reason I didn't want to use the microphone because I thought I would have to use some sort of Amazon or Google API. I don't know. The whole point was kind of to avoid that. So yeah, the way I ran it, it's not perfect. This is as good as I got, but it works. I found, again, open source for my plug so it can turn the lights on, and it works.
Lights on. Oh, first try. Lights off.
Oh, the project is done. Bye.
That's very cool. I mean, going through the process of doing these kinds of things yourself, you're learning a lot. And it's been a very long time since I play with these kinds of things. And I have a Raspberry Pi right here. And this one I disassembled to show you, but it's not, I'm not using it to its degree, to its fullest degree. I should definitely, do some kind of project with it, because otherwise it's kind of wasteful. And now I'm actually thinking, can I use this still? Like this super old one. It's definitely not a very powerful one, but maybe it could do something. I got to figure out, 2011. So I'm closer to knowing what this is based on that. So
Alexa, kill yourself. No, I'm just kidding. I was worried the light was going to be a little too strong, but it's actually quite a comfortable color. I'm very happy with it. I think it looks neat. Again, a great learning experience.
It's very cool to be able to make your own kind of projects like this. I don't have a 3D printer. I would like to get a 3D printer because that seems like a lot of fun. So I don't know. If someday when I can afford to get a 3D printer, I will get one and make some projects and stuff. But for now, I will just watch other people make projects.
Now, I've been going on for 2 months with these projects on and off, and I had one more idea that I really wanted to do, and I felt like I was kind of cheating myself if I didn't do it. It's a little hard to explain, but hear me out, okay? This idea started because the weather in Tokyo, at least, is a bit unpredictable, and Marcia always asks me before going out, in order to know what to wear, she's like, do you know how hot it is? And I'm like, it says 20 degrees, but it says it feels like 28, and it says later it might rain, so maybe bring a jacket or an umbrella, or maybe not. I don't know. Not helpful. So I thought, what if instead of deciphering all these data, what if you just looked at a screen and then there's an avatar that is dressed for the weather and you just match what the avatar is wearing? You don't even have to think about it. Genius! I was curious if anyone's ever done this, and yes, there are like apps that do it. But then I ruined the idea completely because
It is a good idea in the sense of like just simplifying the process because, you know, looking at I look at the weather app to go for like a bike ride or something like that. And it can be frustrating it says like, hey, there's going to be rain sometime today. And then you go and looked and it says 0%. Like, well, when is the rain supposed to happen? You're like, yeah, whatever.
I got another idea. Okay, this happened because I was going to use an e-ink display. E-ink displays are amazing. They're run on super low power. They have this sort of pixelated retro feel to them, which I really like. But I ordered this one and it was way smaller than I thought. I was like, that's not going to work. But I can use it to just test out how I want to execute this idea. Then Marcia glanced at it and she was like, oh, it's so cute and tiny. And I was like, my
Are you going to make a Tamagotchi?
brother, maybe tiny isn't so bad after all. Maybe this is perfect, adequate size. Huh? Maybe. Seeing the little avatar guy on this tiny screen made me think of Tamagotchi. You know those 90s virtual pets that everyone had?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought, yes.
I love the look of Tamagotchis. I love the nostalgic feel of Tamagotchis. But I gotta be honest, and maybe I'm the only one, I hated the Tamagotchis. They were so annoying to me to always take care of them. I know.
How dare you? I also didn't really like them. Like I respect the people who are like, you know, committed to doing it. I was like, I just don't care to keep a digital character running, you know, whatever. But some people like it, some people love it, some people still do it. So yeah.
No, that was the whole point, but it felt like a chore. So that's when I came in.
Yeah, I feel the same. I didn't hate them, but
with the $1 billion idea. What if instead of you taking care of Tamagotchi, Tamagotchi take care of you? Or that way. My brain exploded.
How? What?
With ideas. I was like, it can give you quests. You can level up. It can be like a habit building device. It can still show you what to wear for the weather. It still does that, but also so much more. I told this idea to Marcia and she came up that I should do like a water tracking to make sure you're drinking enough water during the day. I pretty much swim in G Fuel, so that's not necessary for me. But she said it was actually useful. And she said that water tracking apps that are free on your phone are absolutely terrible. So I checked it out and can confirm they are terrible. So I thought I could build.
The free ones are pretty bad, but you can get like water tracking stuff in like calorie apps. Some of those have free ones and those are pretty decent. But yeah, if it's just for water tracking, it's usually terrible. But there's a lot of different things you could do with that. And there are some tools for those who are curious about like having like a level up gaming thing, gamified task management. I actually covered that in a video a long time ago. Habitica is the name of it. I'll have it linked in the show notes. No, I'll have it linked in the description. And also, you know, here's a screenshot of what the thumbnail looks like. So there you go. Check that out if you're interested in gamifying your task to-do list.
Build something like that. And then I remember I used to have this function on my smartwatch where it was for meditation. They would tell you when to breathe in, hold your breath, and breathe out. And I just felt like it was really helpful. That's like a good habit that I would love to get back into. There's so many more things that you could do. Like what if it like gave you quests of all the stuff that you forget about? Like, I don't know, call your mom. Go to a park, compliment a stranger. But I wanted to keep it simple because I've been doing this for way too long now. So I set a deadline for myself and I really crunched to get this last project done. I had to ditch the e-ink screen because their refresh rate is terrible. It's not really built for that sort of thing and it didn't have partial refresh as well that some displays have. Marcia drew the Tamagotchi art and it looks so cute. She did such a good job. I really felt like this made it come to life. I added buttons for it this time instead, and squeezing all of this into a tiny device was really hard. I tried my best. And I think it's best I'll just walk you guys through it.
All right, here it is in all its glory. I couldn't fit the battery. It's like with a magnet. This is the on button. it takes quite a while to boot, I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh, there we go. Man, Marta did so good with the art. Get a tan, because it's hot and sunny. So it's 29 degrees now, and then in 5 hours it's gonna be 22 degrees and cloudy. This is actually really helpful. He's telling you to wear t-shirt and shorts. Basically, like if it was really, really hot, he would technically be naked. If it's really cold, he wears like a hoodie. I'll show Marcia showing the art, because obviously now it's not cold. But yeah, I think it looks great. The buttons are the biggest weakness. Like they look terrible, I'm not gonna lie, but they work and I'm out of time. So you can navigate through. You click to change. This is the water tracker menu. So you enter with the middle button and then you can up how much you want to drink. 250 milliliters is a glass. So you press it to register and it will add a glass. I've maxed it at 8. All right, so moving on, we have the meditation screen. So you can select how long you want to meditate. Let's say 10 minutes seems reasonable. You start it and then it should start with like breathe. Yeah. Oh, wow, that was too fast. Hold it.
Okay, so this is ridiculous, and I want one now. I mean, the whole breathing in and out thing, you just breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, and then breathe out for 4 seconds. And that's like a meditation thing, but also it's a way to calm yourself if you're feeling stressed and that sort of stuff. So that is a tip that you could use without needing any kind of device. You just count for 4, hold it for 4, and then breathe out for 4. And that should help. I've done this thousands of times. It's pretty good. But I do want one of these. That does sound, it looks pretty fun.
All right. Love it. Live, laugh, love it. So proud of it.
Even though, you know, this is far from finished or even being anything practical to actually use, I wanted to just challenge myself to try my best. For me, this is just so exciting. I realize I love learning stuff. I've been so caught into daily YouTube videos for so long. I felt like I never learned anything or built anything for myself. I always wanted to invent stuff, but I never had the time and the skill, or honestly, just the patience. This is kind of stuff I would love to build with Björn when he's older, if he has some kind of crazy idea or interest in it at all. I don't know. I'd love to share more stuff with you guys. If you want to subscribe, thank you so much for letting me yap. That's it. And brofist.
That actually is pretty cool. The taking the time to learn stuff. You know, there are times I feel like I don't have enough time to do that sort of stuff because I'm making a lot of content these days. So I guess we're swapping sides because I used to build a lot of stuff. But anyway. So that's it for the PewDiePie reaction video. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. PewDiePie has actually kind of inspired me on a couple of things, and it's sort of funny because I used to have a very customized, very riced out system that had, you know, modified themes, modified icons. I would change the icons for everything. I would customize. I'd even build my own icons to match the set because I'm a designer, so I would build my own to, you know, customize everything and make it all look uniformed and all of that. And I haven't done that in a very long time. And the last video made me want to rice out my system again. And now this video is making me want to build stuff with my Raspberry Pi and my other stuff and get other things to build stuff out. I don't have a 3D printer, so I can't go that degree, which would be awesome, but I don't have one of those. But I can still, you know, build something with the Pis. And I definitely want to see if I can do it with this old one right here, because this is... This will be a fun test to see how good this super old version could be for something. But yeah, so mostly these videos have been, you know, getting me to go back and do things that I used to do. And maybe I'll make some videos and content about the things I build. Who knows? Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in that. And let me know what you think about this reaction video. Do you want another video like this? Maybe not PewDiePie, but someone else. If you want me to do more reaction videos, let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope there was something valuable in it. And yeah, see you next time.